by Mel Robbins. Introduction. Can 5 seconds really change your life? According to the speaker and author Mel Robbins, it can, and in more ways than you can imagine. Do you dream of pursuing a career you are passionate about? Do you want to improve your health or your relationships? Do you want to become more confident and face your fears head on? The 5 second rule will teach you to stop holding yourself back and take action so that you can finally create the life of your dreams. This simple technique will help reshape your habits and transform every aspect of your life. With Robbins as your guide, you will learn how a simple commitment can radically change your future. How I discovered the 5 second rule. Sometimes in life, even the simplest of tasks seem incredibly difficult. Things like replying to an email or going to the gym can feel paralyzing. This is how author Mel Robbins felt every day at the age of 41. For Robbins, getting out of bed at the sound of her alarm was the most challenging task. As soon as she woke up, she thought of all the difficult things she was dealing with: bounced checks, a bank foreclosure on her house, not having a job, struggling as a wife and mother, and drinking to ease the pain. Snoozing the alarm felt like a small act of defiance. She began each day in a state of utter chaos. As much as Robbins wanted to change her life, she didn't know how. Until one night when she heard a commercial on TV. It featured the typical 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 countdown of a rocket launch. Inspired, Robbins decided the next day she would propel herself out of bed like a rocket. Though it seemed silly, when her alarm went off, Robbins counted down from 5 and got out of bed without snoozing the alarm. Thus, the 5 second rule was born. What you can expect when you use it? When you feel the desire to act on a goal, count backwards from 5 to 1 and physically move your body. This is how the 5 second rule creates tangible results in your life. What Robbins found and what psychological research supports is that there is a 5 second window between your instinct to act and your brain making the excuses which prevent you from taking the action. By implementing the 5 second rule, you get out of your own way and act to support your goals. The 5 second window appears all the time throughout your day. When you employ the 5 second rule, you will find yourself making small decisions to support rather than sabotage your goals. You will stop making excuses and avoid the bad habits that get in your way. These small decisions will eventually add up to big results. The 5 second rule works as long as you use it. It will help release the fear from your life and let you take control of your decisions. The 5 second rule works because it is simple. When you feel the urge to act on a goal or feel yourself hesitate on something you should do, use the 5 second rule to take action. Count backwards: 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then move your body as soon as you hit 1. This forces you to act rather than being stuck in a loop of hesitation or overthinking. The longer we spend thinking about something, the less likely it is that we will take action. This rule helps break this negative common pattern of human behavior. You can use the 5 second rule in three key ways. First, use it to change your behavior by forming new habits and breaking bad habits that aren't serving you. Second, use it to act with everyday courage by helping you conquer uncertainty and fear so you can act with confidence. And third, use it to control your mind by silencing worries and negative thinking. This rule can be used to improve any part of your life because it is working on your neurological response. By replacing a bad habit with the 5 second rule, you can create lasting behavioral change. Everyday courage. While we often think of acts of courage as those bold and brave acts that shape and define history, courage is also found in everyday acts of living. Those moments of fear or uncertainty challenges us to be courageous in our own ways. Courage can be found in each and every one of us. It serves as a push when we need it most, helping us to overcome hesitation and take actions in our lives. Everyday courage can take many different forms. Rosa Parks, for example, exhibited extraordinary everyday courage when she refused to give up her seat on a bus in Alabama in 1955. When Rosa Parks later recounted her story, she said that she had not planned it or paused to reflect on the consequences. She acted as she did in that moment because enough was enough. She was sick of being discriminated against as a black American, and so without any hesitation, she stood up for herself. Being courageous does not always mean changing the world. It can also mean changing yourself. What are you waiting for? We have all played the waiting game, waiting for the right time to start a business or feel confident. Whatever the reason for waiting, it is holding you back. Every moment you wait, you're not just delaying your dreams, you're actively working against them. The truth is, there is no right time. None of us know how long or short our lives will be. All we have is the present and what we choose to make of it. We often wait for others to give us the push we need to pursue a dream. We want reassurance that we have a good idea or we are capable. Instead of looking for external validation, push yourself from within. Find the courage to put yourself out there. No matter how scary or nerve wracking it is, the right moment does not exist. Take E.L. James, author of the wildly popular book 50 Shades of Grey. Without an agent or a book deal, James, a working mother, began writing Twilight, inspired erotica in her free time. Eventually, she gained the confidence to write a book, which she self published. That book sold 1 million copies in just 4 days. When we consider taking an action, we want a guarantee that it will pay off. But most of the time, there is no guarantee. You must believe that the outcome does not matter. What matters is that by putting yourself out in the world, you are waking up to your power within. Actor Mark Ruffalo auditioned 600 times before he landed his first role. Rovio, the creator of Angry Birds, launched 51 games before finding success. Picasso created over 50,000 pieces of art during his lifetime, yet only 100 were masterpieces. Opening yourself up to the world allows you to embrace opportunities and possibilities you would never be exposed to otherwise. With the 5-second rule, you can stop playing the waiting game and find the courage to act on your dreams. Although we may like to think of ourselves as logical decision makers, feelings are the true drivers of our decisions. This explains why change is hard. We know what we should do, but our feelings ultimately make the decisions. The 5-second rule helps feel like it. Although we may like to think of ourselves as logical decision makers, feelings are the true drivers of our decisions. This explains why change is hard. We know what we should do, but our feelings ultimately make the decisions. The 5-second rule helps address this by overriding your feelings, forcing you to quickly take action. In order to be successful, you must separate how you feel from how you act. When you're first starting out, it's not exactly about the results. What's important is that you did something. You took action. Imagine you work at a company and one of your goals is to be promoted. You've read books, attended seminars, and worked with a coach. You know you need to speak up and share your ideas to be promoted, but find it difficult. This is where you can easily employ the 5-second rule. Break your habit of remaining silent at meetings because you are second guessing yourself. Count 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and push yourself to speak up and share. Change is simple, but it's not always that easy. The best way to adopt the 5-second rule in your life is to start with the wake up challenge. Set your alarm 30 minutes earlier, and when it goes off tomorrow morning, count down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and launch yourself out of bed. This is an effective way to implement the 5-second rule for several reasons. For one, it is simple and straightforward. When your alarm goes off, you will choose to follow the rule or you will blow it off. If you can change your morning routine, you can change every part of your life. And you will experience what psychologists call activation energy. This is the big initial push you need to make a change. You will find that even though it takes a very big push to get yourself out of bed early, the day quickly becomes easier from there. Just as Robbins used the 5-second rule to stop snoozing the alarm and face her day, it also became a catalyst to help make other positive changes in her life. Stephen has a similar story. He had been out of work for 4 months when he began using this rule, starting with the wake up challenge. Getting up earlier changed his mindset, and he was able to find a job that he truly enjoys. Stephen can now pay his bills, put some money in his savings. One simple change had a positive snowball effect, changing his entire life. Improve your health. Many people have the goal of improving their health, whether it means losing weight, improving cardiovascular fitness, or healing from an illness. While we have access to more information than ever before about how to live a healthy life, it is still a huge struggle for many people. This is again where our feelings come into play. You know you should choose to make your lunch rather than buying fast food, but you don't feel like it in the morning. You know you should go for a run instead of watching TV, but you just don't feel like going outside in the cold. This is where the 5-second rule comes in. Cut off this thought pattern of, I just don't feel like it, by employing this rule. As soon as you have the instinct to put on your gym clothes or choose water over soda, don't let your feelings get in the way. Count down from 5 and go with your gut. Your feelings don't matter. It is your actions which will create lasting changes to your health and well being. Charlie used this rule to take back his life. In February 2014, he was 383 pounds until the day he listened to Mel Robbins' TED Talk. From that day on, he began using the 5-second rule to take actions that would benefit his health rather than cause further harm it. Charlie lost 176 pounds and he was able to completely turn his life around. He did this by overriding his feelings and taking the actions he knew would get him to a better state of health. Stop worrying. If you're like most of us, you spend too much time and energy worrying about what might happen instead of enjoying life. For many, worrying is a default setting we slip into when we aren't paying attention. Ultimately, it robs us of our ability to enjoy beautiful moments and make the most of our time. The 5-second rule can't stop worrying in its tracks, which may be one of the changes you can make in your life. When your mind drifts towards dark or negative thoughts, you don't have to go along with it. Instead, use this rule to redirect your thinking. Robbins recounts a time when she was waiting for her daughters to return from a trip to Peru. Throughout her day, her mind repeatedly turned towards negative thoughts like plane crashes, airline delays, and lost baggage. But she used this rule to redirect her thinking. When she got herself in a negative thought, she counted down from 5 and at 1, She thought of how excited her daughters would be to tell her about the trip. You too can use this rule to reframe your thoughts when worries arise. Replace your worry with a positive feeling. If you feel yourself slipping into negativity, ask yourself what you want to remember or what you're grateful for in that particular moment. And anxiety. Anxiety is worry amplified and out of control. The way to take control of anxiety is to understand it and reframe it. We all experience moments of normal panic at some point in our lives, like when we nearly get into a car accident. Anxiety is when panic arises without a trigger. You can be doing something as innocuous as pouring your morning coffee when overwhelming and unexplained panic sets in. Therapy and medication are two tried and tested means of dealing with anxiety. Another method you can use is this reframing strategy. This works by reframing anxiety as excitement, which are exactly same for our body. It is only our brain that divides them into different things. When you feel anxiety setting in, you can stop it from erupting into panic by using the 5-second rule. Count down from 5 and tell yourself instead that you're just excited. Robbins, a lifelong sufferer of anxiety, uses the reframing strategy every time she speaks publicly. Before a talk, her heart begins to race and her palms feel sweaty. Instead of telling herself that she's nervous, she used this rule to reframe the situation. She tells herself that she's not nervous, that she's just excited to give a talk. Beat fear. Part of being human is coming face to face with scary situations. Our fears take different forms, but what they all have in common is that they prevent us from enjoying the personal moment. When facing a frightening situation, there is a simple technique you can use to beat fear. It involves creating an anchor thought. This is something positive that would come as a result of facing your fear. While you are in a situation that scares you, you can hold on to this thought to help elevate some of your fear. Robbins illustrates this technique by explaining how she overcame her fear of flying. On every flight, she found herself imagining the worst happening, such as a plane crash or a terrorist attack, which made her terribly afraid every time she flew. To conquer her fear, she began creating an anchor thought for each flight. She chose something specific that she was looking forward to at her destination, like walking on the beach with her mom in Michigan. Whenever her sense of fear heightened during the flight, she used the 5-second rule to pull herself back into the present moment and then focused on what she was looking forward to upon landing. Little by little, it worked. Robbins gradually eliminated her fear of flying. You can use this same technique in your own life, whatever your fear might be. Building real confidence. We sometimes think of confidence as a personality trait, but it's a skill, one of trusting yourself and your abilities. As with any skill, becoming more confident is a matter of practice. Building confidence means taking small steps that push you out of your comfort zone. Over time, these small actions add up to big results, leaving you with real, unshakable self confidence. You can use the 5-second rule to create small challenges that build confidence. For example, Robbins challenged a group of engineers to use this rule to introduce themselves to 3 new people. One engineer in the audience found himself face to face that day with the company's CEO, who he greatly admired, but he froze. The man spent the day feeling disappointed in himself. However, the next day, the engineer chanced upon the CEO again while working out on a morning jog. Using this rule, he pushed himself to walk up to the man he admired and strike up a conversation. This gentleman had a rewarding conversation with his CEO and even shared a new idea he had. The small act of courage opened up new doors for him in the company and built his confidence. Pursuing passion. You find your passion by taking an active role in the process. Start by exploring, noticing what makes you excited or the things you can't stop thinking about. Once you've identified something you're interested in, go deeper. Watch videos online, take a class, or talk to people in the field. Don't hesitate when you find something that sparks your interest. Use the 5-second rule to dive in and explore what sets your soul on fire. You'll find that your continued exploration will build momentum and will take you down a new path that aligns with what you're passionate about. Once that happens, new opportunities will present themselves. Have the courage to take the leap and follow your heart. Then, there will be a time when your passion project has the potential to become your life path or career. This will take time both to reflect and plan for the path ahead. Instead of asking yourself if you feel ready to commit to a new path, ask yourself if you're ready. If the answer is yes, use this rule to give yourself that final push and take action on your dream. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Make your dream a reality. Enrich your relationships. Improving your relationships is as simple as this. If you have something to say it. Often in life, it is hard to share experiences that are intimate or frightening. We default to leaving important things left unsaid because it feels easier. The 5-second rule can help you express those important experiences, the ones you instinctively want to share, but your feelings hold you back. Count backwards and say whatever it is you wanted to say. Mel experienced this firsthand when her dad texted her out of the blue, asking her to call him. Immediately, she ran through a list of bad scenarios, from death in the family to being in trouble. On the call, her dad explained he needed surgery for a brain aneurysm. Mel felt compelled to ask him if he was scared, but began to stop herself. Using the 5-second rule, she pushed on. She and her dad shared a beautiful moment where he explained how fulfilling and joyful his life had been. Speaking up can feel scary or intimidating, but leave nothing important left unsaid. Conclusion. You have learned how taking just 5 seconds can disrupt old thought patterns and habits, helping you to act in a way that supports the life you want to live. You have learned that this simple technique can be applied to any aspect of your life, from your health and personal relationships to your career and business. You have learned how to pursue your passions and make your life more fulfilling. If you want to start your dream business, start exercising, or just be more patient with your kids, this is where you start. The 5-second rule gives you the power to radically transform your life. It works by disrupting old habits and negative thoughts, drawing you into the present moment. Pursue your passion, conquer your fears, and live the life of your dreams. It's as simple as 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, act. So I hope you like the summary as well as our efforts behind it. And if you think we were able to create valuable content for you, you can show your love by giving a review on the Play Store. Jai Hind.